Am I the asshole for calling my wife crazy after she screamed at our son? Throwaway. Me, 34M, and my wife, Jen, 32F, have a wonderful son named Robbie, 7M. One thing you need to know about Jen is that she is a perfectionist. She's constantly cleaning, sterilizing and organizing things around the house. This has been an issue in our relationship because I constantly feel like I'm walking on eggshells around her. Her OCD tendencies have gone into overdrive ever since Robbie was born. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy that she's diligent when it comes to keeping our home clean and healthy. However, I feel like it's become unhealthy, specifically regarding Robbie. Robbie has cried on several occasions because he's the only one in his friend group that can't have company over. He's rarely allowed to visit friends, and when does, he has to immediately shower from head to toe thoroughly. I've addressed these issues with Jen, but she refuses to see me and Robbie's point of view. The incident. Yesterday, Robbie, Jen and myself were all at home. Jen had just finished cleaning the carpet in the living room and then went to clean the bathroom. Robbie wanted a glass of milk, so he poured himself a glass and went into the living room to watch TV. At some point, Robbie accidentally knocked over his glass, which spilled some milk onto the carpet. I was in my bedroom. The next thing I know, I hear Jen screaming at the top of her lungs. I rush into the living room and see Jen screaming at Robbie while he cries in the corner. He looked terrified, he just kept frantically apologizing and shaking. Jen screamed, "I just fucking cleaned this carpet. Why didn't you drink the milk in the kitchen?" I stepped in and told Jen to calm down, "It's just a little milk, no big deal." She continued to yell non-stop and started aggressively cleaning the milk while cussing at Robbie under her breath. I told Robbie to go into his room so Jen and I could talk alone. After he left, I told Jen that she shouldn't have screamed at Robbie like that. She defended herself by saying that he knew the rules and should have known better. I told her that he's a little boy who made a mistake that anyone could have made. After things continued to escalate, I realized that there was no getting through to her. I yelled, "Robbie and I are sick and tired of your BS. Robbie can't even be a kid because he's constantly terrified of you. I'm not gonna sit back and let you do this to me and Robbie anymore. You're fucking crazy." She was dead silent and just went back to mindlessly cleaning the carpet. I spoke with Robbie and eventually calmed him down by taking him out for ice cream. After we got back from ice cream, I saw that Jen had locked herself in the spare bedroom. She refuses to acknowledge me and hasn't spoken to me since yesterday. For the first time in years, I saw her go a whole night and morning without cleaning. I'm starting to feel like I went too far, but I was just trying to defend my son. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. I gotta admit I don't like calling people crazy, but in this case, I gotta say I wouldn't react much differently. Well, actually, I would react slightly differently. I would say that she has to go to mandatory mental health counseling or we're talking divorce time. And I wouldn't be remotely joking. Your wife is abusive to your son. Period. As his father, it is your job to protect him, and that is your first duty above all others. If you don't, you're going to have a kid that grows up with all kinds of issues, or minimally a lot of resentment that he wasn't allowed to have a normal childhood. If you want your kid to walk away at 18 and never speak to you two again, her for being an abuser and you for being her enabler, well, keep on doing what you're doing. Not the asshole. You need to take your son and leave. This is not okay. She is cussing out a child. She has anxiety, OCD, and irritability over a glass of spilt milk. She needs serious therapy. She will cause serious damage to your son by the way she talks to him. This is not a safe environment for him to be in. Not the asshole. Your wife needs professional help. Screaming at a 7-year-old for spilling something, demanding he washes whenever he goes out, not allowing his friends over. She is going to rob your son of their childhood. This is a hill you need to die on. I recommend taking this to our relationships for further advice on how to tackle this conversation. OCD grows and grows, it deforms relationships and destroys family life. She needs help. And you and your kiddo cannot be pressed into serving her magical thinking. There are no limits to OCD, so doing just this, and just that, is never the end. Have compassion for her. If it is OCD, she's not delusional, she knows this is not normal. She's probably carrying a lot of shame. But don't give in. She needs treatment. Nah. She's unwell, and you're at the end of your rope. This has been an issue in our relationship because I constantly feel like I'm walking on eggshells around her. What's the number one, guaranteed, 100% thing that kids do? Make a mess. She's obviously an arsehole, but you should have nipped this in the bud years ago. You didn't, and your child has been paying the price. Esh. Not the asshole. This is a terrible way for a child to grow up. She needs help, and until she is better, she needs to be removed from the situation for the child's sake. Please make your son your first priority. Not the asshole. Your wife is crazy, man, she needs therapy. This is a toxic environment for Robbie. No kid should feel unsafe at home. I think this is a genuine mental health issue for your wife, so I mean it when I say she needs therapy. Otherwise your son is going to grow up hating his mother. Not the asshole. Your wife needs therapy, a psychiatrist yesterday. That's not a normal amount of cleaning, especially screaming at your son like that, and not letting him visit other people. There's something else going on. Am I the asshole for ruining my boyfriend's sister's baby shower? I, 16F, went to my boyfriend, M17, sister's 29F, baby shower. He invited me because I get along with a lot of his immediate family and thought it'd be a good way to introduce me to some of his extended family, cousins, aunts and uncles. I had a bad feeling that I'd get the question any time they're out with their boyfriend to a family event. And I got it. One of his aunts who I didn't know too much came over while I was playing with the younger kids and took me over to where some of the other aunts and my BF's sister was for some girl talk. What she meant was an interrogation about my future life choices. What university did I plan on going to? What did I want my career to be? My opinions on marriage? This was more the aunts than the sister. She was pretty silent during it. I answered each one calmly. They seemed to not like the fact that I didn't want to ever be married, even though that's also my boyfriend's opinion. Then the question came, do you want kids? I said never because I don't want kids, for multiple reasons, but I got interrogated about why don't I want kids? Would I ever adopt? Doesn't my boyfriend want kids? Then the aunt who pulled me away asked what would happen if I got pregnant by accident. I told them that's very unlikely, but if it were I'd most likely abort. They looked like I said I'd kill it with my bare hands, telling me it'd be different if I was actually pregnant and that when I feel a life growing inside me it would be different. I told them I'm sure that's what they felt, but at this moment I don't want a kid and never want a kid, so that is what I would do. When I went back outside I told my boyfriend what happened and went to play hide and seek with the little kids and everything was fine, but when we came back in to eat, my BF's aunt asked, I thought you didn't want kids. I reinforced that I didn't and she brought up that I was really good with the kids at the party. I explained wanting kids and being good with kids are two different things. She then told my boyfriend that I need to leave and I ruined the party because of my opinions and what I said while she was making conversation. My boyfriend said we'd both leave since his aunt was out of line. A couple days later his dad told us that his aunt never wants to see me again and disapproves of me being with my BF. So am I the asshole for stating my views on a topic I was asked about? Edits. I just wanted to clear up and add in some things. It's very common to ask 16-year-olds about uni and careers because it's a big focus in schools, and at 16 you're already in your first year of college. 16 is the legal age of consent. Culture has been asked a lot. Both me and boyfriend were born and raised in Britain, but I was raised with German culture due to my dad being German and he was raised with Spanish culture because his dad's side is Spanish. I reached out to my BF's sister, the mother-to-be, and apologized if I made her uncomfortable or ruined her party. She said she didn't blame me and the aunt has done this interrogation to many spouses and I'm helping my BF's dad plan a baby shower for her. It's a little smaller but it's to make up for the drama. My BF's dad did tell me about his aunt not liking me but said he doesn't care what she thinks. Update. Holy shit. I didn't expect this to blow up so much. Thank you so much for the support and suggestions on how to handle this better if it happens again, as well as some very funny insults and comebacks that made me laugh a little. Thank you for those who respectfully understood my choices even if they don't align with their own and not undermining my choices. Not the asshole. You got a free no contact forever card. Enjoy. Not the asshole. She asked, intrusively and obsessively, and you answered. Who badgers anyone, especially a 16-year-old, about their current, future reproductive choices? If at any point you don't want to give very personal information like that out to an actual stranger, you can always say, I'm not comfortable answering that question. Can we talk about something else? Of course you are fully within your rights to answer everyone exactly as you did, because she asked. My God. No, not the asshole. Her questions were inappropriate. If she's not ready to hear all possible answers she shouldn't be asking the question. Besides, you're 16, not 30. WTF? Not the asshole, it's not your boyfriend. Aunt doesn't understand that some people just don't want kids. She's the one that should watch her manner. What if you couldn't have kids, but also decided you don't want them? Would she have been just as upset? Not the asshole. His aunt shouldn't have been asking questions like that if she didn't want to hear your answers. Not the asshole. She asked, you answered. Not only that, she kept pressing you for answers. I'm hoping at some point your boyfriend chimed in with his support of your right to choose what happens to your own body. Either way, some random aunt's opinion means bupkis. If they don't like the answer, then they shouldn't ask the question. Not the asshole. The aunt's very up herself and shouldn't have put you, a 16-year-old, in such a difficult position. You're only young, you should be enjoying your life, not getting tied down so early in life. Not the asshole. The aunt was out of line. Am I the asshole for telling my mom my grandma will no longer sleep in my room or I am moving out? I, 18F. Live with my mom, 35F. My mom struggles with money, and to prevent her from being homeless I live with her even though I have enough income to move out. I pay about $2,000 a month just for rent, food, while she helps out a bit with as much money as she can give in. My grandma, 60F, visits us whenever she can. She has extreme back problems, and due to this, when she visits I let her stay in my room and I sleep in the living room. A problem arose when I realized that when she came over my things would go missing, such as AirPods, clothes, jewelry, hair ties, shoes, etc. Anything that she could use she would take. I told her that I didn't like that she kept taking my things and never giving them back. She said she understood, but then I noticed that she just kept doing it. I decided to ignore it since out of respect I couldn't yell at her, so I just left it alone and replaced the things she took. A few weeks ago she came over to visit. As usual, I went to the living room to sleep and she slept in my room. One morning she came to me and told me that a necklace I had caught her eye and that she really liked it. The necklace she was talking about was a necklace my boyfriend, 19M, had gifted me 2 years ago when we were 16 and 17. It was made of gold and it costed him $3,570 to buy it. He had spent all summer working just to be able to afford it. Since it held so much value to me, I told her that I would like if she didn't take it since my boyfriend gave it to me. She scoffed, saying she wouldn't do such a thing and that she just thought it was nice. Well, a few days ago she left. I said goodbye to her and then I returned to my room. I had a date with my boyfriend the day after she left and I always wear that necklace. While looking for it I started to panic because I couldn't find it, and then I remembered my grandma's comment. I called her and she told me that she took it since it was so nice and that she would take good care of it. I hung up instantly in an attempt not to lose my mind on the phone and instead went to my mom. I told her to tell Grandma to return the necklace and that when she came over she would no longer sleep in my room and would sleep on the couch. My mom yelled at me saying she couldn't believe what I was saying that I knew my grandma's back problems were bad and that I couldn't do that over a necklace. I told her that if the necklace wasn't back, she didn't respect my boundaries, I would move out. My mom broke down and I walked away. My boyfriend told me it wasn't that big of a deal and that he could buy me a better and more expensive necklace to replace that one. I told him the price didn't matter and that I wanted the one he gave me when I was 16. Since then my mom has given me the cold shoulder, but she told me my grandma mailed the necklace back and that it'll be here next week. I feel kinda bad because my mom and grandma are both upset at me. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. You should still move out. Your mom is an enabler and a mooch and your grandma is a thief. You shouldn't have to deal with that nonsense. Not the asshole. That is a horribly toxic situation. Honestly, once the necklace is back, then you should move out regardless. Nobody is entitled to steal your possessions or kick you out of your own room that you pay for. You may need to call the police. Grandma is probably going to sell your necklace. Not the asshole. What the hell? She doesn't respect your privacy or belongings at all. I'm surprised your mom is siding with her. She's actively stealing your shit. I would have drawn the line at the AirPods, but a necklace with sentimental value? Fuck that. Your grandmother either has a mental disorder when she's unable to stop stealing, or she needs the money she gets from selling your things. Either way, neither your grandmother or mother are showing you any respect. Let them live together and try to make it financially. Your mother can reap the consequences of not protected her own daughter. You should move out and stop enabling them both. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, but you and your mom need to go visit grandma for a weekend and take all your stuff back. Don't say anything. Just put it in your suitcase when you leave. Not the asshole. Move out. Let her steal from someone else. Watch the next interaction be Oh, it must be lost in the mail. Info. How and why does a 17-year-old give such an expensive gift to a 16-year-old? And how does a 18-year-old afford $2,000 per month rent, for one bedroom? Am I the asshole for telling my former boss why I quit? F17, used to babysit for Daniel, 6, and Katie, 4, from 5/9 every Monday-Wednesday for $25 an hour. Daniel's and Katie's parents are good friends with my parents. While the pay was great, this job was very hard. Both kids are very babied and neither of them are fully potty trained. They can't get dressed by themselves, they fight all the time, and they throw tantrums all the time. I've been secretly looking for other jobs for a while now. I found a job from 4/8 every Monday-Thursday babysitting 3 kids, 2 female, 3 female, and 5 male, making $30 an hour. I babysat for them last Saturday as a trial run and it was incredibly easy. All of the kids are potty trained, they're not picky eaters, they can get themselves dressed, they were extremely well behaved, and when I put them in bed, they all stayed in bed. This never happens with Daniel and Katie. I decided to quit and took the job with the 3 kids. At first, when Daniel and Katie's parents asked why I quit, I said it was because they offered more per hour and an extra day a week. They offered to pay me $500 a week because their kids don't like other babysitters. I still said no, and when they asked why, I said it was because their kids behave horribly and can't do anything for themselves, in nicer terms. They told my parents and, while they agreed with everything I said, they don't think I should have criticized their parenting choices. Not the asshole. They shouldn't have asked if they didn't want the truth. Not the asshole. They asked why and you told them. Not potty trained at 4 and 6? At this point it's a good thing someone called it out. Congratulations on the new job, and hopefully those parents start to see the problem when no one else wants to babysit for the kids. Not the asshole. And #X200B. They asked. They should not do that, unless they are prepared to hear the answer. And #X200B. And your parents are asshole for getting involved. This is none of their business. They told your parents? That alone would be a good reason to quit, if you had not already done that. Tell your parents to stay out of it. Not the asshole, and just maybe what you said will be jarring enough that they actually heard you. Not the asshole. So wait. The 6-year-old goes to school without being potty trained? What in fresh hell? Unless they are special needs, of course, that is understandable. Not the asshole. You weren't criticizing their parenting choices. You were answering their question why you quit, didn't take their offer. Not the asshole. You didn't criticize them for being lousy parents. You told them why they're lousy employers. They pay for the difficulty of the job on paper, 2 kids of 4 and 6, but not for the real challenges it presents. If the kids don't have any physical or developmental issues, there is no reason for a 4-year-old, let alone a 6-year-old, to not be toilet trained. That's a huge red flag, honestly, and could be a sign of something far beyond bad parenting. And you as a 17-year-old babysitter shouldn't have to deal with that, especially on top of the other behavioral issues you describe. If the kids are delayed, disabled, you as a 17-year-old babysitter aren't really qualified to deal with them. They should have someone with formal training. The parents can clearly afford professional care if they're willing to shell out $40 plus an hour to keep you. Not the asshole.